Hello friends. About 70% of the friends who watch my videos are not subscribed, and I would be very happy if you did. Also, don't forget to press the like button and leave your comments. Your interaction makes the content reach everyone and contributes to the growth of the channel. Thank you all. From which country or city do you follow the channel? She introduced herself as Jenna, but Lily wanted to call her Jenna Marie or Jenna Lynn. Anything except plain Jenna. She was well past 40 and worked as a real estate agent specializing in rentals. Her outfit wasn't quite businesslike. A burgundy sweater with origins a mystery, perhaps lifted from a thrift store, and a tight skirt that seemed borrowed from a Hollywood depiction of a geisha, clearly not made for walking. The agent was jittery. She flashed a fake smile that revealed yellowed smoker's teeth and clung nervously to her folder of lease agreements. Yes, yes, she clucked like a hen. Jenna smirked crookedly and said, "We spoke on the phone yesterday." She peered into Lily's eyes with an eager glint. It felt like a jolt of electricity hit some hidden spot in Lily's brain and set off an anxious buzz. Lily returned a sweet smile. She knew her unblemished 22-year-old beauty, untouched by time or hardship, disarmed men and women alike. A fair-skinned blonde with scarlet lips and lashes that fanned out like peacock feathers. She understood how her allure captivated others. "You mentioned you had an apartment that fits my needs," Lily said, nodding. Jenna bobbed her head quickly. "You know," Lily went on, "I'm a student, and my job doesn't pay enough to cover." She paused, searching for the right words. "Anything too pricey. I need something affordable within the size range we talked about." She stretched the truth about school since summer break was on, but Jenna, either oblivious or unconcerned, didn't react. Of course," Jenna shrugged twitchily. "We've got just the place, and it opened up recently. Before you, 2 guys lived there, students like you, but they moved out just 2 days ago." She sighed dramatically and added, "Family issues." Catching Lily's glance and misreading it, she rushed on, No, don't worry. It's all above board. They were model tenants with no neighbor complaints. In fact, folks next door only had good things to say. They paid rent early every time, and when they left, they tidied up, so the owners had no gripes either." "Who are the owners?" Lily asked. Jenna started vaguely. "They're from out of town, New York, I think." "You don't know?" Lily said, surprised. "Well, you see," Jenna replied, "we're a big firm with lots of clients, all with their own stories." She looked at Lily while fishing for sympathy. "Their little secrets," she added as her upper lip twitched nervously. "Taxes and such. Some like to keep things hush-hush." She clutched the folder tighter. "So who'll sign the lease?" Lily pressed. "Our company." Jenna beamed with a $1,000,000 grin. Then, misjudging Lily's expression again, she hurried on, "Don't worry. We're established with a rock-solid rep. Been around forever. People know us and never had a complaint. You'll sign with money-back guarantees. If anything's off, you're refunded, no questions. We've got a 24/7 call center, so ring us anytime, and we'll sort it." She locked eyes with Lily again, but when Lily didn't meet her gaze, Jenna stepped back, deflated. "What about rent? How much, when's it due, and how many months upfront?" Lily asked. "I know we went over this yesterday, but let's run through it again." Sure, Jenna perked up, sensing a deal nearing. "Here's the rundown. A 5-story brick building. The apartments on the 3rd floor, facing the street. The balconies enclosed. Tall oaks line the property, so dust won't bother you. Inside, 1 bedroom, 21 square feet. Kitchen, 6. Hallway and bath bring it to 36 total. Gated parking, plus a park, grocery stores, schools, and daycare are nearby. Bus stops are a short walk away. It's fully furnished with a TV, fridge, kitchen setup, and internet. Rents $350 a month. Lily nearly jumped for joy since the price was a steal. But one last thing nagged her. "What about neighbors? Will they be an issue?" "Mostly retirees in the building," Jenna replied. "They're all mellow." She flashed a rare, genuine smile and said, "Nothing to worry about there." "All right," Lily said calmly. "Let's see it." Jenna nodded. That's the place. She pointed to a mid-century low-rise that still looked decent. Lily didn't spot any glaring flaws. Her pulse quickened with anticipation. They approached the building where a blue sign read, Maple Street, 67. Tall trees flanked the lot, and across the narrow road stretched a park with matching oaks. A playground buzzed with a handful of kids. Their moms with strollers in tow chatted lively, though the street noise drowned them out. Sparse cars dotted the parking area. Near one car, a rusted-out relic, two tipsy guys in stained tank tops nursed beers by an open hood. The courtyard was like countless others, aging and living out its lonely days. Even the occasional maintenance crew couldn't brighten it up. But Lily was fine with that. They stepped into the building's shade, and the outside world vanished. Street sounds faded, and the heat gave way to a chill that made Lily shiver since she was dressed lightly for summer. An odd unease crept in and unsettled her calm. It's always like this, Jenna said as her upper lip curled. Cool in summer, even on the hottest days, and snow sticks around till May after winter. You'll get used to it. Here's our entrance. She pointed to a green metal door marked for, punched in a code, and it clicked open. After you, she said while ushering Lily inside. The lobby smelled of damp basements, mothballs, and cigarette smoke, familiar scents from childhood. The sudden anxiety from outside melted into a cozy, safe feeling, like being back in her parents' home. They climbed the concrete stairs to the third floor and landed at a cracked platform with 3 doors and a street-facing window. Lily peeked out, but the glass was fogged and hid the park, playground, kids, and moms. It didn't matter since they'd reached apartment 58. The door was solid steel, painted black, with a peephole, a shiny chrome handle, and 3 locks. Jenna slid the key in and twisted it with a crunch. The lock turned eagerly as if waiting and pulled the bolts back with a greedy thud, letting them inside. They stepped in. The apartment greeted them with sunlight, the scent of fresh bread, and a soothing vibe that washed away all worries. Lily felt like sprawling out and napping all day without a care. To the right was the bathroom. Straight ahead was the kitchen. To the right was the bedroom with an enclosed balcony beyond. The bedroom held a massive wardrobe with glass doors, a table, a bed, a TV, and 2 chairs, dark sentinels against the mirrored closet. In the hall, a washer hid in one closet. The kitchen had decent cabinets, a nook with a table, and a bathroom with all the essentials. Heavy curtains draped the windows. Lily looked around again, and everything suited her. She couldn't help but smile. Seeing her reaction, Jenna pounced. "What do you think?" She grinned crookedly and asked, "All you wanted? Unless you've got something else," Lily began. "Of course we do," Jenna snapped since she sensed a slip. "But those start at $1,000. You said yesterday." "This works," Lily said with a calming smile. "Let's sign." The lease was standard, one side promised and the other guaranteed. They signed. Lily paid 3 months up front. Jenna handed over her card and turned at the door with a flat tone. "You're sweet, so take care." She stepped into the cool lobby. The door slammed shut with a scrape and left Lily stunned by her words, alone with the lease copy in hand. Then she snapped out of it, brushed off the odd remark, and started planning how to make this nest her own. First, she wandered the apartment again and let it sink in while welcoming it into her life, even if just for a while. Bright kitchen, dim hallway, half-lit bedroom, stuffy balcony. On the balcony, Lily tugged at the window latches, but they wouldn't budge. Maybe she just lacked the strength to turn the stiff handles. It didn't bother her much. No biggie, Tyler can fix them, she thought. Stepping back inside, she glanced up and caught her reflection in the mirrored wardrobe opposite. But instead of herself, a dark silhouette lagged behind her movements, like it was stuck in molasses. Startled, she gasped and blinked. When she looked again, it was just her mimicking perfectly. "Nothing creepy here," she told herself while making the bed with fresh sheets. Outside, dusk painted the horizon and swallowed the sun behind jagged city rooftops. Soon, it burned out and left the sky ash black. But in her new place, daylight lingered. Halogen bulbs gleamed on the ceiling and bounced off the TV screen. A cable news anchor droned on about alien conspiracies. His grave tone created a cozy two-way chat vibe. She loved the show for its absurd humor and slight idiocy, since watching someone spout nonsense with a straight face always cracked her up. Lily finished the bed and then flopped onto it, sending waves through the fluffy comforter. Tyler wasn't coming tonight, so this big bed was hers alone. She rolled onto her back with arms splayed and grinned blissfully. Finally, she'd scored a decent spot for a reasonable price. Lily slipped into pajamas, washed up, climbed back into bed, and watched the show till ads blared about mastering American driving secrets. She ignored them and flicked off the TV before settling in, since work loomed in the morning. Jenna was right. The building was dead quiet. Since moving in, she hadn't heard a peep from neighbors, just the distant hum of traffic. At 1, she jolted awake, disoriented and unsure what stirred her. The clock glowed 3:37. "Oh God," she groaned, but sleep wouldn't come easy now. She shut her eyes and pictured the TV's last flicker to lure sleep back. A whirlwind pulled her under. "Who's there?" She bolted up with her heart pounding and hit the light switch. The chandelier flooded the room with daylight brightness. It was empty. Slipping on a shoe as a makeshift weapon, she checked every corner. Bedroom, hall, kitchen. Nothing. The bathroom was last. She yanked the door open and flipped the light. Her reflection stared back from the mirror across the wall and showed the hall, the steel front door, the frame, and the open bathroom door. She stood with her back to herself, frozen. Lily shrieked and recoiled before squeezing her eyes shut. When she peeked again, it was just her, pale and terrified, staring back. Lily stepped away from the bathroom door, and her reflection followed. She waved, stepped in, and bared her teeth. The mirror stayed true. "Too many late-night conspiracy shows," she muttered. In the kitchen, she poured bottled water and chugged it. Then she saw it. She'd swear it wasn't there earlier. A black spot the size of a quail egg seeping through the wallpaper near the ceiling on the outer wall. Wary of touching it since it might be mold, she grabbed her phone, zoomed in, and snapped a photo. Something to show Jenna tomorrow. She said to call anytime, so let's see how fast she fixes this. She returned to the bedroom and killed the lights before slipping into still warm sheets. She fell asleep in seconds. Morning dawned pale and still. Fog from the night mixed with city smog and lingered past sunrise. Cottony clouds drifted past windows. Only honking horns signaled daybreak. Her head pounded like a drum as she rose, stunned by the new day. Mondays always hit her like this. Battling the bed's pull, Lily staggered to the bathroom. The mirror reflected her faithfully now. She brewed strong coffee and grabbed 2 croissants. She glanced at the clock since time was tight. Skipping bed-making, she painted her face and threw on her office armor, a sexy blazer and skirt combo, before clacking down 3 flights in heels. Fog thinned to wispy patches. The building's shadow still stretched over the park, parking lot, and playground. Lily emerged from the entrance. 3 old ladies bundled in rags muttered toothlessly. She flat out said it, croaked the middle one with a voice like splintered oak. "I'm still young, blind bat. You'll see soon enough," she said it plain. "Oh, she's got more heart than me," lisped the left one, who was raisin-wrinkled. "Chasing those college boys. Missed her shot," cawed the right one. "Her spark's not like Nick the janitor's. It's a woman's game and lacks a man's grit. Who'd let her?" "Morning," Lily chirped with a voice that melted even the gruffest guys. The trio froze as if they hadn't noticed her exit when the steel door clanged shut. Passing by, they stayed stiff while Fog couldn't thaw their poses. Lily nearly moved on despite the rudeness when the oak-voiced one's head creaked around. "Go," she rasped and then froze again. It was pointless to press them, Lily decided. She'd revisit later. She worked at the city library digitizing old books. It was a dusty job with a respirator and jumpsuit required. But first, she strutted through the office and stirred even the most jaded married guys, while letting primal urges trump their polish and smarts. Lily loved the gig. Her boss, Frank Coleman, often scolded her flirting and threatened write-ups he never filed. Like the rest, he found her presence a break from the daily grind. She'd burst in like sunshine and stuck around while tangled in their routine. They adored her and backed her up despite grumbles from the retired accountant Mrs. Dorothy Hale, who trailed her like a shadow. Lily didn't exploit it much and pitted these weary keepers of literary relics, as they sadly called themselves. She was their pride and sparked envy in other departments. They felt superior for it, and she stoked that flame gently since she was wary of burning them out. Their clumsy bids to impress her were so fragile that she felt sorry for them. "Frank, you look rough today. Is everything okay?" she asked. "Nah," he chuckled as her hand on his arm worked its magic. "Just slept bad." "All right," he smiled. "No helpers today, so I'll lighten your load. Head to the desk since stuff's waiting." Sure enough, 3 thick tomes sat there with a task sheet. Scanning it for hours' work, she felt a surge of energy. She finished early and beamed under the summer sun. The afternoon stretched ahead, a hunt for a mystery accessory to match her eyes. But first she had a call. She dialed and pressed the phone to her ear. The world paused for Jenna's voice. "Hi, it's Lily. I've got your card." The other end greeted her and asked how she was. Yeah, she confirmed. "There's a black spot on my kitchen wall. I thought it might be a hassle." "No, I didn't see it before." "Great. See you in 2 days." Time ticked on and counted her happy moments. She got home that evening. The elusive accessory eluded her, but she splurged anyway and marked little victories. "This'll look cute on my new table. That's for the bathroom. Oh, this is for Tyler when he visits. Perfect discount." Laden with rustling bags, she reached the concrete building on Maple Street, 67. The clock struck 6. The sign glowed white on blue and cast its shadow over the park, lot, and playground. Kids squealed silently and were watched by eagle-eyed moms. Passers-by stepping from warm air into the building's chill grew uneasy and glanced around before hurrying out. Lily entered the shade, braced for the cold, and shivered as it brushed her bare arms. She reached her entrance and was surprised by an empty bench. She opened the steel door and stepped into the concrete crypt. The first 2 floors, lit by window wells, felt normal. She tapped up them in heels, buoyant. Then came the 3rd floor's odd misty window. Peering at it, she thought she saw something etched. Breathing on it, she studied the emerging shape, a tiny palm-sized face left by some playful hand. Intrigued, she vowed to revisit it later. Up to her floor, she turned the key. The lock growled and clicked. The door swung open and sealed shut behind her. The outside world faded and left warmth and calm. Only faint car horns and tire hums slipped through. She was home. Lily dumped her bags on the bed and savored the moment before opting for a simpler joy. She called Tyler with her voice sultry. "Hey, Tyler, you coming tonight? I got a gift for you." She listened and wrinkled her nose. She pouted to match her cosmic letdown and hoped he'd squirm. "Oh, Tyler," she whined, but he couldn't make it. She hung up and was barely miffed. The night promised other thrills. She flipped on the TV and arranged her haul to perfection. The screen hummed, but she ignored the visuals. Same channel, same host waving arms over fake mysteries. Tonight, we dive into rebirth. Not art, but human life. Can it happen? Lily turned it up and carried a trinket to the kitchen where it might fade. Christians, Pythagoreans, and ancient Babylonians believed in soul migration, not just at Judgment Day. All faiths share a core. Our Christian roots tap older beliefs and birth reincarnation. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus uses palingenesia, a Greek term for renewal, and hints at judgment's deeper meaning. It's metempsychosis twisted by theologians who deny rebirth yet justify it for church aims. A knock jolted her. Her heart raced. She muted the TV, lit the hall, and peeked through the peephole. Cops stood patiently. The clock read 7. "Who's there?" Her heart thumped, but the uniform eased her fear. "Sergeant Miller, police. I need to ask you a few things." He looked up and met her unseen gaze before flashing a red badge. "Okay, 1 SEC, she called. Glancing at the bed, she spotted lace lingerie, Tyler's gift. "Perfect timing," she grumbled and tossed it with other clues of solitude into the closet. She threw on a tie-dye robe and slipped on flip-flops. She smoothed her hair and opened the door. Miller was short and stocky with a clean-shaven face and pressed uniform crisp. Mid-20s, she guessed, and noted a wedding band with mild disappointment. "Sergeant Miller," he repeated and peered inside as the door swung wide. "Your name?" he asked firmly. She handed him her ID. He skimmed it. "Lily and Harper. Do you know these guys?" He showed 2 photos. One tall, lanky guy in a white tee and jeans with an arm around a petite girl, grinning. The other shorter and darker with almond eyes, smiling too. Daytime shots likely split from one image for clarity. They looked like buddies and something bad had happened. "Nope," she said honestly. "I've never seen them." "Lily and Harper. What do you know about the last tenants here?" "The agency Lady Jenna mentioned 2 students lived here before me. She said they left for family reasons." "Got her number?" Lily nodded and handed over Jenna's card. "Agency and personal digits saved." "Good," Miller nodded. "Anything else? Details?" "Not much. Jenna said they were quiet and paid early with no complaints." "What happened?" she asked. "Citizens Jake Peterson and Ryan Ortiz vanished 14 days ago. There's no contact with family. They skipped college and didn't tell anyone their plans, not even classmates. If you hear anything," he handed her a card, "call anytime." Miller left. Lily shut the door hard and froze while mulling the missing guys. "Will doesn't die. It's reborn via metempsychosis." The TV blared and startled her with goosebumps as it inexplicably unmuted. She stepped into the bedroom. The host flailed and neared his wild climax. Plutarch spoke of soul migration through Palin Genesia. Look at Melchizedek, biblical with no parents and no start or end. Modern faiths hush it up, but it's there. Judgment's less scary when life loops on. Lily muted the nonsense and was fed up. Weird, she thought. Maybe they just moved somewhere nicer and got extra cash. They didn't tell anyone to avoid drama, a rebellion against parents and school. But Miller's words hit. 2 weeks with no trace. It could still turn out fine. They'll show up, and everyone's happy. She washed up, and the mirror flattered her. Then she heated store-bought pea soup and tossed in rye croutons. She ate slowly and savored the meat. Outside, despite 11 at night, traffic pulsed with headlights slicing the dark and horns sharp. Up here it was muffled and distant, another world. She watched, detached, and felt she could tweak her life from this perch. Then overhead, quick little footsteps pattered. Loud and sudden, they made her drop her spoon and splash soup on her robe. She wiped it off and was annoyed. So much for quiet retirees. Someone's playing tag up there. Jenna got it wrong. One restless neighbor was bearable, though. Resuming her soup, her eyes snagged on the black spot. It had grown to a chicken egg size. No mold spread that fast unless the wall hid worse. "Damn," she cursed. "At this rate, by the time Jenna comes, it'll be camel-sized, and we'll need new wallpaper." How bad was it? She Googled. Black toxic mold. Stachybotrys chartarum. Rare in nature. Loves damp spots. Clarkson University says it messes with your health and even causes depression or hallucinations. Great, hallucinations are all I need. If Jenna doesn't fix this soon, I'll make Tyler rip off the wallpaper and kill it. The agency can foot the bill. More footsteps tapped above, but she ignored them and dumped the soup in the sink before crashing. She figured morning solved problems better than night terrors. Something woke her. She blinked into pitch black and groped for the clock. 3:33. Rubbing her face, she opted for warm milk. Sliding out of bed, it hit. A wild, piercing cackle sliced through the ceiling and slammed her ears with panic. She dove back under the covers and trembled while chanting, "God, save me. Please save me. Save me." The laughter stopped as abruptly as it started. She knew because her mantra went unchallenged. Peeking out, she listened. Silence. Braver and still wrapped up, she crept to her charging phone. Overhead, those frantic steps raced from balcony to wall. Relentless. Less scary than the laugh. She grabbed the phone and nearly dropped it. The steps sped up, and then a heavy thud crashed into the wall. Again. Silence. Shaken, She snatched the phone. It lit her face. 3:43. Upstairs, rustling and muttering began. Sensing trouble, she fumbled to unlock it. Took 3 tries to unlock. She scrolled for a number as her hands shook. Upstairs, muttering grew louder with words slipping through. It sounded like a hissing snake. Her vision blurred, and darkness swallowed everything, even the phone's glow. Then a yellow haze appeared, and a white horse stood in it tossing its head. It wasn't rushing, just there for her. She screamed and snapped back to her room while cowering on the bed. The phone's light, apartment's quiet, and steady hands returned. But panic twisted her nerves till she collapsed, exhausted. She woke flat on her back and was roused by something vague. The clock said 3:44. Listening inward, she got nothing. Rolling over, she found her phone under her hand. Odd since she'd plugged it in. It lit up with a full battery. Nerves, she told herself while calming down. Sleepwalking. She drifted off since work was in 3 hours. Morning sucked. She woke wrecked, like she'd been tortured and hauled rocks all night. Forcing herself up, she faced the bathroom mirror, disheveled with dark circles and a crumpled face. Rough look, she muttered. It'd take skill to match yesterday's glow. She washed and primped with makeup magic. She downed strong coffee and faked a grin before hitting the landing. The lobby reeked sweet and stale, unplaceable. Felt raw like late fall, not summer. The concrete trapped night's chill. Shivering and regretting no sweater, she locked up and tossed the key in her black leather purse before bolting outside. July warmth and Maple Street's shadow greeted her. The old ladies were there. "He's here," the oak-voiced one mumbled aimlessly. The others nodded slowly. "Saw him last night, young and handsome," the second croaked. "Yep," the first drawled. "We'll know soon, no," they echoed. "Morning," Lily sang sweetly. They froze and ignored her. She shrugged off the lunatics and strutted on while turning heads. Behind her, the bench creaked as they muttered, too feeble to keep up. Crossing the shadow's sharp edge into sunlight, she marveled at its clarity, like a Terminator line on some moon. Not a science buff, she'd caught it on TV once and it stuck. Work fed her ego. Men looked up from tasks and drooled as instincts overrode their suits and degrees. But today felt off. Their usual lust mixed with a clean sporty hunt, like they wanted a trophy. Not her. It rattled her. Something vital felt missing. She dashed to the bathroom mirror and inspected every angle. Nothing was wrong. What's off? She wondered. What do they see that I don't? Lily checked the mirror again and spun while finding nothing. She blamed fickle men. She smiled, and electricity jolted her. It came out crooked and bared teeth in a snarl, not charm. "What's this?" she gasped and clapped a hand over her mouth. Calming down, she peeked. Same old Lily with red lips, black skirt, and perky chest in an open blouse. But that smile terrified her. She tried again, and her lip curled up to expose teeth. Even with her looks, it spooked her. Forcing it with fingers looked fake and grim. Exhausted, she chalked it up to sleeplessness and bet Tyler could fix her face later. She licked her lips predatorily and returned to the office to reclaim her throne. Day's end sneaked up, and time vanished. The clock hit 5:05. She shut her book and stashed supplies. She grabbed her bag and dialed. Her phone buzzed to life and was happy to serve. Someone answered and agreed. Lily grinned, and office guys peeled their eyes off her, back to screens. A warm night awaited. Normally, she'd stroll the 1.5 miles home with strawberry ice cream, but today she was expected. It rang again. "We set this up today," she said. A pause came and then, "See you soon." She scolded herself for not rescheduling, but she figured Jen'd come alone and fix little before leaving fast. She caught a bus and rode 2 stops before stepping off. Tyler waited and scooped her up while kissing her neck. She giggled at his stubble, giddy. She briefed him on Jenna's visit and then added, "Tyler, could you meet my neighbors?" "What's up?" he asked. "Nothing. Just good to know who's around." She laughed off his quip about quiet ones being serial killers. "No way. Jenna meant old folks. Someone's up there since I heard running." Can't do it myself, she said. Those grannies by the door gossip enough, and I don't need more. Tyler eyed her curves and agreed there was plenty to talk about. At the entrance, Jenna stood dazzling in a skimpy outfit with her figure suddenly svelte. Tyler shivered in the building's chill but couldn't peel his eyes off her chest. No old ladies today. Playground kids squeaked, and moms chuckled while smiling at the trio. They greeted Jenna, and Lily unlocked the door to let them in. Tyler trailed Jenna and ogled her sway while chatting too sweetly. Lily's jealousy flared. At 58, they bumped hands and chests while stepping aside. She jabbed a snarky remark and opened the door to let them cross. Tyler, a first-timer, grinned at her decor tweaks. The place had a mysterious charm, and he said just what she'd hoped. They kicked off shoes and hit the kitchen. Lily pointed out the fist-sized black spot. Jenna clucked and snapped photos from angles. She texted them and then called. Someone picked up fast. She described it and flagged the pics while stressing key points. Nodding, she relayed. An expert pegged it as black mold from the shots. Stay back. Don't touch. He'd come tomorrow and fix it in an hour. It was a done deal and they split. Fuming at Tyler's stares, Lily sent him to scout neighbors. She hit the bathroom to freshen up and froze since the mirror showed her back ignoring her. No blinking or rubbing fixed it. Tyler's door slam snapped her out of it, and her face returned. Hiding the weirdness, she asked how it went. He'd met one guy, second floor, crazy and looked homeless. On others in the building, he'd rambled, "No people here ever. If you're staying, stock up on occult gear, or you're toast like the rest." She recalled the missing students, Miller's questions, and his card. She ached to call Miller about the guys but held off since tonight was hers and Tyler's. She flipped on the TV for background life and warmed store-bought roast while having Tyler uncork wine. They sat before the screen. Post ads. Her show kicked off. Hello, viewers. Good and evil clash tonight, not just words. They're shaped by Christian culture and demonic lore. This evil bred by civilized savagery rises from ashes and aims to rule. It's ancient. Traders summoned blood demons and sold souls for dark favors. When a satanic grimoire cracked the continent, Elder Hellspawn took root in early leaders. Now earthly fiends push fake creeds and steer us to ruin. Lily muted the rant since it was too wild tonight and kissed Tyler. They got busy. The clock hit 11:53. She went to whip up a snack. He tidied in the bathroom. High spirits had her humming, and all prior fears felt silly now. She brewed fragrant coffee and eyed more fun. She fried eggs with runny yolks and sliced dark rye with seeds and syrup. She set out forks and waited. Tyler emerged in her tie-dye robe and toweled his hair while grinning. He sat and praised her skills before digging in, beaming. She chatted lightly. He nodded along. Lily hadn't eaten and was hit by an urge to cradle his head and stroke his hair. The kitchen's yellow glow bathed them, so cozy she wished it'd last. Footsteps pattered overhead toward the balcony and then back before crashing into the wall and thudding limp. She flinched since Jenna hadn't warned her tonight. "Don't look away," she told Tyler. He glanced up, puzzled. "You okay? Happens sometimes," she smiled. "I'll call the cop tomorrow." A groan moaned above. Tyler bolted to check and was too eager to help. Weakness pinned her as he dashed out and climbed 2 flights before banging on the door to demand entry. No sound followed, no Tyler, no banging. 5 minutes and 10 passed. Nothing. Panic swelled. Grabbing a gleaming steel fork, she raced after him. The lobby's icy breath hit her sheer nightie and bare feet and prickled her skin. With the fork thrust forward, she climbed. Sobs echoed down. "Tyler!" she yelled into the concrete void. The echo twisted back, warped. "Tyler, you there?" She stepped higher. Wet smacking noises joined the cries. "Tyler, answer!" Her hands shook and nearly dropped the fork. Unable to stall, she charged up and skipped steps. She rounded the landing and gasped while reeling from the sight. Panic she dodged crashed in and slammed her against the wall while crushing her chest. She gulped for air, and none came. A faint exhale came, then a gasp, but terror's hand squeezed again. Tyler lay gut down and headless while twitching as the apartment door sucked him in like a spider's prey. No number marked the door, and it should have been 61. At its base, a toothy maw pulsed and slurped Tyler's fluids like a worm sucker. Red veins swelled around it. Screaming, Lily fled downstairs to her apartment, her lifeline. Call the cops, her mind raced. Bursting in, she glimpsed a man's face, Tyler's twin, in the foggy landing window before slamming the door. Her bathroom mirror showed her back slowly turning. She shut it and yanked her phone charger. Before dialing, her gaze caught something. The black spot had ballooned and dripped like a heavy bead, ready to burst. She barricaded the bedroom with a chair and dialed 911 despite trembling hands. Dispatch, they answered. Maple Street, 67. Apartment 58. Help! They're trying to kill me! She shrieked and tossed the phone by the door before diving under the covers. Dispatch buzzed on. A squeal and crack split the kitchen. The spot popped and something wet and heavy splat down. A minute later, the kitchen crunched with vertebrae snapping and shifting before slapping closer. Another wet step came. Lily realized those were the fourth-floor footsteps now slithering toward her. "Mommy, take me away," she sobbed under the blanket. "God, my cross, save me, please," she chanted and clutched her necklace. The wall shuddered, and something rammed the door to splinter it. Again. The chair slid, but the shattered door held half open. Sirens wailed. The thing pounded harder and was stuck. Downstairs, the lobby lock broke. Boots thundered up and roared toward her. They stormed in with clubs thudding, curses flying, and grunts of disgust. They trashed the bathroom and kitchen before prying her door. They pulled her out, shaking and half faint, hoisted her over a shoulder, and hauled her outside. Ammonia and whiskey hit her nose. A thumbs-up flashed before they melted into the dark and gutted the building. A man in a white coat approached and jabbed her arm with a needle. Her mind dissolved. A sunny day saw her leave the hospital. A week of shock recovery and police grilling about ties to Satanists or terrorists followed. When they saw she was clean, they backed off. The next day, a news report aired. Maple Street, 67. In the unnumbered apartment, Tyler's killer, investigators found 42 bodies, 17 kids, 19 women, and 6 men. Tyler was likely counted. The report noted occult symbols on the lobby walls, supposedly linking to hellish entities. How it worked, they didn't say, just that it was there.